Grand Rise. This is another Golden Ray episode brought to you by NAGA. This episode is indicative because I'm walking early this morning, viewing the pink and gold hints of the rising sun. Your higher self is always on the battle with the contract. It's because that's where all your directions lay, as far as everything you're supposed to do while you're here. Separating from the golden space was only particular to an ideal or a wherewithal that you had in a higher plane of existence. This is why you have duality. We think duality is based on being two counterparts, when in fact we are all the opposites of our counterpart. Your counterpart does not exist in this time. As much as you may want that to be true, as you search through the world and signify what you believe love to be. Our counterparts are our higher selves, and they are watching over us. And sometimes they shake their heads, and sometimes they cheer us on. They cheer us on because you choose to do the right thing, no matter the circumstance. You knock down, you get up. That's spirit. The Golden Ray is your home, is the consciousness. It is a part of all things. It has information in all things celestial, all things grandeur, as far as imagination and what's really real. But perfection cannot excel in non-perfect circumstances. So that's why we are here. If I gave you a question that didn't need to be answered, but you chose to answer it, you see? Let me not wane off of the ideal of the Golden Ray. That tallies on sometimes, and it can become easy not to stay focused. That's what the physical does. It keeps you tangible to everything that we know as existence. Me personally, I'm always attacked in different ways, not by people, but by myself. I'm attacked by me because it wants me to react to the physical things. It wants me to react to the outside forces of energy. It wants me to acknowledge these things as doing damage to my physical body, when in fact my physical body is being weaned off the damage of life. It's not to say it can't ultimately end up going through more things, but it's the ideal of placing your mentality in that before these things take place. This is called fear. Most people do this subsequently to any value of a circumstance. Oh my God, we're getting in a car accident. Oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, is this? These different things are particular to you being your own demise, hold back or stoppage in whatever blessing or accuracy of growth that you need for yourself. There is nothing to follow. There's more or less nothing even to look into to enlighten yourself. You have to look into you to enlighten yourself. That is the book. The book is inside of you. The stories, the written, it's all inside of you. It's your life. You have to be attentive enough to want to search through your own life to find out the indifferences. No one outside of you can tell you. And then when you start to search outside of yourself for these situations, you are becoming at that point clinically insane, because nobody can literally tell you about you. You have to look in the mirror and check yourself. If you do not do this, you are deemed to repeat the same processes you live every day. Unbeknownst to you, you will suffer at your own hand, blaming everyone else. And this will be your own torment. If you have an issue that you're dealing with within life and you cannot overcome it, and subsequently you fall in this same emotional rut to these concepts, that is telling you this is the battle that you have to fight. You don't need no one to tell you these things. Just look at your own life and see it for what it is. Stand on that and keep going. What happens is going to happen. It really doesn't matter. Everybody's life is not going to be the same. And everybody's not going to have the same grace. Everybody's not going to have the same spiritual rise. Some people are going to gain these things of materialistic value very, very quick because they're momentary satisfaction. They got to get in there. They're young spirits. They don't know no better. They got to get it and fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, don't sit back and get into the envy or the ego aspect of things. Ooh, look what they're doing. How they're doing this or what. That's none of your effing business. Stay on your path. Unbeknownst to you, if you start looking deeper within yourself and studying the book of you, everything outside of you would disappear. Not literally in the sense of poof, it's gone. Your attention span won't be there for it. You'll be too busy focusing on you the correct way. Unconditional love for yourself. It's not you telling people that you love yourself. That I love myself. You know, everybody wants to, express the value of how they learn things through the vocal aspect of life. And that's not even how that's going to play out. You're only going to express it in the sincerity that you have for yourself. So it's not a spoken thing. It's an action. It's something that you sit down after understanding all the faults of you, not the faults of other people when you're engaging with other people, the faults of you before you engage with these individuals in your life that you want to put blame on. That is your fault. So why are you addicted to things that you don't have no understanding on how they will mix with your own particular life before you call it a problem? Oh, it is very simple. Once you step inside yourself and remove the aspect of blame, you have to see that everything that you want is not for you. Even though you want it, that doesn't mean it's for you. And when you hold yourself back or anybody back for something that's not for you and maybe for them, you are placing yourself in a detrimental output into your own life that you have self-sabotaged and concocted to yourself. Deeper understandings of one life is the only reason why we've come here. You're not conquering anything. You are readjusting yourself. You are readjusting yourself. Yes, it's easy to have some form of some creation sitting by just to say, hey, they did this to me. Well, I wasn't in certain times, and I can look at the minds of my people today and say, well, you know what? Fear had to play a role because it's either be controlled or die. And if you chose to be controlled, that is not a blaming situation. That is a choice. You didn't fight to the death. We are not going to sit down and go through semantics of circumstances. Fear is fear. Unconditional love is just that, unconditional love. And knowing yourself is just that, knowing yourself. Is no one can tell you about you. No one is going to say, you are this because your name is that and you're... Nobody can do that. You have to study yourself. And there's ways out there to study yourself. You just have to be prepared on doing so. You already know the vibes. This is Naga. I ain't gonna hold you. This is another episode, The Golden Ray.